So hello, what's up? I hope all of you are doing great. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to this revision session where we are going to begin with SS 600 series. So if you like this initiative, first of all, do give the like to this video, okay, so that I get to know that you want more such type of videos. Apart from this, like all our revisions, here also we are going to revise all the concepts along with the questions of study material, past exams, RTPs and MTPs. Sir, these board notes you can download from our Telegram channel, Clear CA with Shubham Keswani. Link is in the description. Okay, so without much ado, let's begin with this revision. So, sir, first of all, talking about SA 600 series, okay, let's understand the basics. SA 600 series mostly talks about using the work of someone. Sir, using the work of someone means 600 talks about using the work of other auditor. 610 talks about using the work of internal auditor, and 620 talks about the using of work of auditor expert. So here we are not discussing these two essays. These we will cover in the next video. Okay, sir. Here we will focus on essay 600 using the work of another auditor. So first of all, how to remember this name? Answer is simple. This is like OO. Sir, O for other auditor. Say with me, O for other auditor. So whenever you use the work of another auditor, SA 600 will be applicable. Now the question comes, sir, who is the other auditor? So let us understand two concepts, principal auditor, other auditor. So first of all, do you know what is a consolidated financial statement? Yes, sir. It has the financial statement of parent, subsidiary, associate, joint venture, branches, and any other division. So the person who is the auditor of the parent and auditor of consolidated financial statement, that person is called principal auditor. We will call him as PA, principal auditor. The person who is auditing the financial statement of, let's say, subsidiary, associate, joint venture or branches, whose financials become a part of consolidated financial statement, these are called components. The person who is auditing the component is called other auditor. He is called as other auditor. Got the point or not? Yes, sir. So can I say, when as a principal auditor I am auditing the CFS, which includes all these financial? Yes, sir. So because these financials are audited by some other auditor, I have to use his work. Ultimately, I have to use his work. Okay, sir. So the first question I say ask is, what will you consider when you are accepting the work as a principal auditor? Okay. What things will you consider when you are accepting the work as principal auditor? So can I say, first of all, you will consider your portion. See, some portion will be audited by you, but some portion will be audited by some other auditor. So first of all, you will consider the materiality of the portion of financial information which is audited by principal auditor. That means how material is your portion. Got it, sir. Now talking about the work of other auditor. You will see the degree of knowledge that you have regarding the business of the component. Along with that, what is the risk of material misstatement in the financial information of component? Please tell me, if you don't have any knowledge and the risk of material misstatement is high in the work of component auditor, can I say I will not accept such engagement? Sir, if I don't have any knowledge and the risk of material misstatement is high in the financial information of components which are audited by other auditor, I will not accept such engagement. Yes, sir. So these two things are also considered by principal auditor. And the last thing you consider is performance of additional procedure for the components audited by other auditor, so that you can have significant participation in such audit. Now, sir, what are these additional procedure? We'll just discuss them, but these are the four things to consider. So the first thing is your portion, materiality of your portion. Now, sir, whatever portion is audited by other auditor, in that portion you consider whether you have knowledge and the risk of material misstatement there. And the last thing is what additional procedure you will perform. Considering this risk of material misstatement, what additional procedure you will perform so that you have significant participation in such audit. This we are going to cover in detail later on. So these are the 4 points. So for example, if I am talking about Tata Motors, can I say Tata Motor is a parent company? Yes, sir. There are two subsidiaries of Tata Motor which are very famous, that is Jaguar and Land Rover. So for example, when I am auditing the consolidated financial statement of Tata Motor, I will see how material is my area. Then I will see whether I have knowledge of the subsidiary. What are the risk of material misstatement, and based on the risk of material misstatement, I will decide my additional procedure. Are these 4 points clear? Are yes or no? Yes, sir. So if you come to your question bank, there is a direct question number 1 on this concept. What factors will be considered by you while accepting the position of principal auditor? So just write the name of essay. X600. O means on other auditor. And these are the 4 points given here. Let's revise again. Materiality of the portion audited by principal auditor. Degree of knowledge about the business of components, risk of material misstatement in the financial information of components, and based on the risk you decide additional procedures to have significant participation in such audit. Is the first concept clear? Yes, sir. Now let's understand what are the additional procedure. What additional procedure does the principal auditor has to perform to have significant participation? So quickly come to your notes. Let's discuss these procedures. So first of all, if I say as a principal auditor, I have the right to visit the subsidiary, okay? And after visiting, I can examine their books and accounts. So first thing is right to visit. Examine the books if it is necessary in special circumstances like risk of material misstatement is high. Whenever I am planning to use the work of other auditor, I should evaluate competence of other auditor if he is not a chartered accountant. That means if he's a CA, I can feel he is competent. But if he is not a CA, I need to evaluate his competence. So these are the two basic things. Right to visit, go and visit, and then check the books of accounts if necessary. Then second thing is evaluate the competence of other auditor if he is not a chartered accountant. And the next point says, perform the procedure. What you will get? Sufficient and appropriate evidence whether the other auditor's work is adequate for you. Whether the other auditor's work is adequate for you. So can I say one thing? Principal auditor is like a senior auditor. Other auditor is like a junior auditor. Now, Baba, as a principal auditor, if I am thinking to use the work of other auditor, should I guide him or not? Are should I guide him or not? Yes, sir, you should guide him. Acha, I should guide him at the end of audit or during the planning stage? Sir, during the planning stage. When you guide him during the planning stage, then only it will be useful. So the first point says, advise the other auditor that you are going to use his work and you should coordinate at planning stage. Now, sir, when you are coordinating, tell him three things. First thing, understand. Understand that first thing is you will guide him the procedures. Sir, procedures for identifying intercomponent transaction which require disclosure. You can say intercomponent transaction means parent is selling to the subsidiary is selling to another subsidiary is having the transaction with parent. These are what? Intercomponent transaction. In accounts, you call them related party transaction. So do related party transaction require disclosure? Yes, AS 18 and AS 24. So guide him about the procedure to identify such intercomponent transaction which may require disclosure. Second thing, tell him the areas. Which areas that require special consideration? Basically, these are the areas of significant risk like fraud, related parties, transactions which are outside normal course of business, not at arm's length price. So these are the areas which require special audit consideration. And last point is guide him about significant accounting. After accounting, what do we do? Auditing. After auditing, what do we give? Reporting. So accounting, auditing, reporting. Say with me, accounting, auditing, and reporting requirements. Are these 3 points clear? Yes, sir. Once again, first of all, procedures for identifying intercomponent transaction that require disclosure. Second thing, areas that require special considerations and significant accounting, auditing, reporting requirements. Okay? These are the 3 things you have to guide him. Now, sir, how to remember these 3 things? As PA. Principal auditor is like a papa. He is like the father to the other auditor. So he will guide him about the PA. Sir, what do you mean by PA? P for procedures for identifying intercomponent transaction that require disclosure. A for areas which require special audit consideration. And the last A is significant accounting, auditing, and after auditing, reporting requirements. Is everything till here clear? Are yes or no? Yes, sir. Now, Baba, when you have given him so many things to focus on, ask him to give the work on time. That means also tell him timetable for completion of work. And then when he says, yes, I will complete my work on time, take it in writing. Take a representation from him. So obtain the representation for the compliance. Make sense? Yes, sir. So this is the first stage of the procedure. You can visit and examine the books. Second thing, evaluate the competence if he's not a chartered accountant. And then coordinate at the planning stage and guide him about PA. Procedures for identifying intercomponent transaction that require disclosure. Areas requiring special audit consideration. And last was accounting, auditing and reporting requirement. Now, sir, when you have guided him about the procedure now, the second stage says you need to check his work. So when I want to check his work, ki whether he has followed the procedure that I guided him, can I check his working paper? The answer is no. SA 230 said that working paper is the property of auditor, not the principal auditor. So can I ask him to give his working paper? No, sir. So I want to know whether the procedure that I guided him, he has followed the same procedure or not. This can be done by two things. Sir, how? What are the two ways? First of all, you can discuss. You can ask him, Baba, tell me what procedure you applied. So this will give you an idea. Or what you can ask him is, give you a written summary of procedure he has performed. So this written summary can be in the form of questionnaire. You can ask him the questions, or it can be a form of checklist that yes, he has performed this procedure. So to know the procedures, you can discuss or take it in writing, a summary of procedure in the form of questionnaire or checklist. And the last thing is, sir, you can also visit. But the question is, how much checking needs to be done? Again, that depends on the circumstances. So the nature, timing and extent of procedure that you will perform to check his work, that depends on engagement circumstance. If risk of material misstatement is high, do more checking. Second thing it depends on is knowledge about the competence of other auditor, not internal auditor. Knowledge about the competence of other auditor. If you feel the other auditor is competent, then you don't need to check his work more. So how do I get this knowledge? Through the review of his previous work. If in previous terms he has done proper work, okay, then means you can rely on his work and consider him to be a competent person. Is everything till here clear? Deal done? Yes, sir. Now on this concept, I have an amazing question for you. Question number 2. In question number 2, leave the second part. Just focus on the first part. MK Electronics Limited is a listed company with 8 subsidiaries across various states. Financials are audited by CA Amar, who is the principal auditor. CA Amar relies on the work of other auditor for auditing the financial statement of subsidiary. First question. Explain the procedures to obtain sufficient and appropriate evidence that the work of other auditor is adequate. So whenever you want to get this evidence, what do? Sir, we advise the other auditor that we are going to use his work and coordinate at the conclusion stage. No, planning stage. Tell him about the 3 things. Pa. What were the 3 magical procedure? P for procedures for identifying intercomponent transaction that require disclosure. A for areas requiring special consideration. A for significant accounting, auditing and reporting requirement. And fourth thing is timetable for completion and take a representation for the same. Okay, this is how you get the evidence. Sir, why they have not written that how do we check his work? They should have written this also. Now, how do we check his procedure? So you can discuss the procedure. You can take a written summary in the form of questionnaire or checklist. So that part can also be written here. Got the point or not? Yes, sir. Next part we are going to discuss later on. But tell me, is everything till here clear to you? Deal done? Yes, sir. Take 2 sips of water. Get ready for the next topic. Next topic says, specifically if the question asks you, what is the role of principal auditor and what is the role of other auditor? Sir, 3 points have to be written. So first of all, what is the role of principal auditor? These 3 things that the principal auditor is guiding the other auditor. How will he guide them? Orally or in written? Sir, he will guide him in written. Whatever guidance is given by principal auditor to other auditor, it is given in written. So the first thing is necessary to issue written communication to the other auditor. Got it, sir? Now when he is giving a written communication, the other auditor will follow it. So other auditor should coordinate with the principal auditor. Now, whatever significant findings he find, he should tell it to the principal auditor. Plus, remember we asked him to do properly follow the timetable? Yes, sir. So he should comply with the timetable, adhering to the timetable. Second point, Let's say I am the principal auditor. ठीक है, I find something which is relevant to other auditor. ठीक है, I find something which is relevant to the work of other auditor. Let's say I find a transaction between the subsidiary and parent that I feel is important for the auditor of subsidiary. Should I tell it to the auditor of subsidiary? Yes, sir, you should tell him. So this is the point. Advise the other auditor any matter that have a important bearing on other auditor work. So if I find something relevant to the other auditor, I should tell him. Second point for other auditor, he should ensure compliance with statutory requirement. So this is a little odd point, but remember it, compliance with statutory requirement. Last point says, may require other auditor to answer a questionnaire. I told you na, we can either discuss the procedure or take a written summary in the form of questionnaire or checklist. So he can ask the other auditor to fill the questionnaire and the other auditor will fill the questionnaire. He will respond to the questionnaire. So can I say all the points are properly interlinked? Yes, sir. Last time, let's revise. He will give a written communication. So when he is coordinating, he will also coordinate. He will tell him the significant findings, comply with the timetable. Plus, whenever he find any matter which is important for other auditor, he will advise him. Second point is little different. Remember it, compliance with statutory requirement. Don't forget the compliance with statutory requirement. And last point is questionnaire. Ask him to fill the questionnaire. He will respond to the questionnaire. Easy peasy? Yes, sir. Now, if you come to the question bank, we have question number 3. See what does question number 3 says. MTP October 20, and I think it is also in your study material. Beta Limited is the subsidiary of Alpha Limited. Okay, sir. So can I say Beta Limited is the component and Alpha Limited is the parent? PQR Associates has been appointed as the auditor of Alpha Limited. Yani PQR and Associate are the principal auditor. They are the principal auditor. MNO and Associates have been appointed as the auditor of Beta Limited. That means they are the other auditor. Explain the role of principal auditor and other auditor as auditor of parent and subsidiary company. So this role you already know. First thing, advise the other auditor in writing. So issue written communication as a principal auditor to the other auditor. Second thing, what he will do, he will also coordinate. Two examples of coordination: communicate significant findings, comply with the timetable. Second point, advise the other auditor any matter which is important for other auditors' work. What will he do? That odd point, compliance with statutory requirement. Last 2 points, our favorite questionnaire. So he can consider requiring the other auditor to answer a detailed questionnaire and then other auditor will respond to the questionnaire. Very easy question. Are yes or no? Yes, sir. Now, Baba, when these questions are done, I think we are just moving to the last stage of this chapter. Principal auditor consider the significant findings of other auditor. I told you that other auditor has to tell the significant findings to principal auditor. Yes, sir. How will the principal auditor deal with the significant findings? That is what we are going to discuss right now. Let's understand with the help of example. Let's say other auditor is the auditor of subsidiary and principal auditor is the auditor of consolidated financial statement. Now, sir, in subsidiary company, what is happening? There is a premature revenue recognition. Premature revenue recognition means before actual revenue, you are recognizing the revenue. So can I say this is a significant finding? Yes, sir. If the company is recognizing the revenue in advance on long-term contracts, it is a significant finding. Now, sir, whenever other auditor will tell such significant finding to principal auditor, what will happen? Principal auditor will discuss. Sir, discuss with whom? Discuss with the other auditor plus management of the subsidiary or management of the component. Okay, sir. Second thing what they will do is they will have to perform some supplementary procedure. Obviously, when such significant finding is communicated that revenue is recognized prematurely on long-term contract, they will have to perform some supplementary procedure. Sir, what can be the procedure? They can take customer confirmations, whether revenue should be recognized or not. Second thing, they can inspect the contracts. So they can decide supplementary procedure and these procedures can be performed either by principal auditor or other auditor. Either of them can perform such supplementary procedure. So this is the game. Whenever any significant finding is communicated by other auditor to principal auditor, then sir, principal auditor will discuss with other auditor and management, plus some supplementary procedure will be performed either by principal auditor or other auditor. Makes sense? Yes, sir. Now, sir, we are just left with the last topic, that is documentation. Take 2 sips of water and get ready. See, talking about documentation, there are 1 or 2 special cases, please understand. First of all, you have to document which is the component whose financial statements are audited by other auditor. Now, when the financials are audited by other auditor, you must have performed some procedures and drawn some conclusions. So procedures and conclusions reached. Sir, example of procedures. I have already told you na. What procedures I can do to know his procedure? Discuss with the other auditor. Take a written summary in the form of questionnaire or checklist. So the 2 examples that we discussed, same things are written here, that needs to be documented. Got it, sir. Sir, even if we have performed limited procedures, then also the reason should not be documented. So even if the principal auditor has not performed many procedure, he has performed little less procedure. Now the reason for performing limited procedure should not be documented. That can be done away with. Okay, sir. The most important case, if the other auditor report is modified, for example, subsidiary report is modified. Now, sir, how did you deal with such modification? That thing should be documented. So how the principal auditor dealt with the qualification or adverse remark, that should be documented. Clear, boss? Clear, sir. So in your question bank, in question number 2, this was the second part that we left. Now let's discuss. How will you document in the work paper with respect to subsidiaries audited by other auditor? First part of documentation. So whenever any subsidiary is audited by other auditor, document the name of the subsidiary. What procedure you performed, what conclusions you reached, document. Example of procedure, discussion and checking a written summary. Second part of question says, what will be your documentation if the other auditor report is modified? So only thing you need to document is how did you deal with this modification? Makes sense? Yes, sir. So this is what ICI has also written in their answer. Now only 2 questions are left. Question number 4 and question number 5. Acha, this question number 5 has also been asked in recent MTP Jan 26. Okay. So both of these questions are very important from exam point of view. Take 2 sips of water. Get ready. See, let's see what question number 4 says. Sony and company are the principal auditor, while the audit of all the companies acquired during the year, acquired means subsidiaries, this is conducted by Rahul K and Associate. So can I say Sony is the principal auditor, Rahul is the other auditor? CA Sony contended that for the purpose of audit of CFS, either his firm is required to do the audit of all the components or he needs the working paper of the component. Is the contention of CA Sony correct? So you people tell me, if I am doing the audit of CFS, does it mean that the component should also be audited by me? Answer is no. Components can be audited by other auditor. Now, sir, how do I get a comfort that other auditors have done the procedure that I guided them? So you can discuss the procedure or you can review a written summary of the procedure performed by them, either in the form of checklist or questionnaire. So first of all, you will write the introduction that as per SA 600, normally you can rely on the work of component unless there are special circumstances for you to visit or examine the books of accounts. What procedure I can do to know their procedure? So sir, the game here is you can discuss the audit procedures applied. If you don't want to discuss, you can take a written summary in the form of questionnaire or checklist and you can also visit. Now, sir, whatever procedure you perform, nature, timing and extent of procedure, it depends on 2 things. So what are the 2 things? Circumstances and professional competence of the other auditor. Can I say this is the basic thing we can write in our answer? Are yes or no? Yes, sir. Now, sir, ICI has written some extra part. Please don't forget to mention in your answer. The extra part is sometimes other auditor communicates significant findings to the principal auditor. Remember in significant findings, I told you that principal auditor will now discuss the significant findings with other auditor or the management of the component. Okay, sir. Plus, because there are significant findings, you cannot ignore them. You have to perform supplementary procedure. Now, these supplementary procedure can be done by other auditor or principal auditor. That thing has to be written here. Sir, what is the logic? No logic, just write it. Okay, that's why I have double star mark it, so don't forget in your answer. So the game here is, everyone please read. Principal auditor should consider the significant findings of other auditor. How do he consider? Discuss the significant finding with other auditor and management, plus supplementary audit procedure should be done either by principal auditor or other auditor. Now the second part of the question says, working papers. He needs the working paper. So for this working paper, what theory you will write? That working paper or documentation is the property of auditor. So this is the theory you need to write, that contention of CS Sony, says that we are required to do audit of component financial, is not correct. Plus, as per SA 230 and SQC 1, audit documentation is the property of auditor. It is his choice, discretion, that he can make the portions or extracts available only to the client. But remember, it should not undermine the validity of work or his independence. Okay, so it is his discretion whether he wants to share the working paper or not. So the contention of CS Sony is not correct. Contention of CS Sony is not correct. Is this case study based question clear to you? Yes, sir. So if any such question is prepared by ICI in your exam, this is how you need to write your answer. First of all, do I need to do audit of component? No, you just need to check his procedure. So write the theory about checking the procedure, and nature, timing and extent of procedure depends on circumstances and the competence of the other auditor. Okay, sir. Then write this extra theory about significant findings and conclude that his contention is not correct. Then, sir, his contention that he wants the working paper, for this write the theory of working paper, that audit documentation is the property of auditor. He may at his discretion make the portions available to the client, but then client should not say that he has not done the work properly. So it should not undermine the validity of work or affect his independence. So again, the contention to get the working paper is not correct. Make sense? Yes, sir. Now, Baba, if you come to your book, let's see what topics we have discussed. Meaning of principal auditor, other auditor, you can just read. What is the meaning of component? Just read. Remember one thing, SA 600 does not apply to joint audit. For that, we have SA 299. Okay? Plus auditor's relationship with predecessor auditor. Again, for this predecessor auditor case, we have SA 510, and for reporting, we have SA 710. Acceptance of work as principal auditor, we have already covered. Audit procedures, again, we have covered. After this, significant findings we have covered. Sir, what if the other auditor is not a professionally qualified auditor? It says whenever a component is situated in a foreign country, example, Germany, and the laws of Germany permit a person other than professionally qualified to audit the financial statement. So basically this point says, if the law of Germany allow any person to audit the component financial statement, then sir, if the other person is not qualified, obviously you should consider the competence of the other person. Okay, sir. Now, sir, talking about documentation, we have already discussed. Role of principal and other auditor, we have again covered. Now, sir, the important thing is reporting consideration against star market. See, what does this say? Whenever there is a qualified or disclaimer of opinion in case of limitation on scope of audit, wherever the principal auditor concludes that work of other auditor can't be used, and because see other auditor work can't be used, plus he is not able to perform additional procedures regarding the financial information of component, so can I say neither the other auditor work can be used, neither he is able to perform the procedure. Basically he does not have sufficient and appropriate evidence. So when you don't have evidence, what are the two opinions possible? Qualified or disclaimer. Easy peasy. Yes, sir. If the other auditor gives a modified report, then check whether the material misstatement because of which the other auditor has modified the report, is that material misstatement material for the CFS. So see, something can be material for subsidiary, but it may not be material for CFS. So whatever is the reason for modification in the component report, check whether that reason is material for the CFS. If it is material in CFS, you also modify the report. If it is not material, then Baba, you can decide accordingly. So it says, if the other auditor issues a modified audit report, consider whether the subject of modification is of such nature and significance in relation to financial information of entity that it also requires modification of report. Basically check whether it is material to CFS also. Make sense? Yes, sir. And the last part is division of responsibility. Sir, what do you mean by division of responsibility? So I am doing the audit of CFS. Yes, sir. Now in this CFS, let's say there is a subsidiary which is audited by other auditor. Now for that subsidiary, the other auditor gave a unmodified opinion. Okay, sir. Later on, a material misstatement was found. Later on, a material misstatement was found in the financial statement of the subsidiary. Now tell me who is responsible? Principal auditor or the other auditor? So this standard says, if a material misstatement is found in the financial statement of a component which were audited by other auditor, then sir, that other auditor will be responsible. So that is what division of responsibility is all about. So when you are preparing your report, you should clearly tell that out of this whole financial, how much financial is audited by other auditor. Out of this whole financial information, how much is audited by other auditor? So principal auditor is not responsible for work of other auditor except in suspicious circumstance about the reliability of his work. Whenever you give report on financial statement of entity relying on the work of other auditor, clearly state division of responsibility by indicating the extent to which it is audited by other auditor. If you notice any material discrepancies, you should inform the other auditor and that should be included in audit report. So let's do a question on this concept. Question number 5, a question of your study material and recent MTP. See what it says. There is a bank which has 1034 branches. These branches are audited by the branch auditor. In respect of one large branch, there were errors in NPA classification. These errors in NPA classifications were not pointed by the branch auditor. That means it is a branch auditor mistake. Yes, sir. In his report, which was given to the principal auditor. Also during the overall review by principal auditor, these errors did not come to light. That means they were neither pointed by the branch auditor, neither the principal auditor found these errors. The statutory auditor, or you can say the principal auditor, he called for soft copy of internal inspection report and concurrent audit reports. Even in these reports, these irregularities were not pointed. So now, will the principal auditor or statutory auditor be held liable for the above issues? So the answer is no. Can I say branches were under the scope of branch auditor? So if there is any issue in the branch, who will be held responsible? Sir, branch auditor. So this is not a responsibility of principal auditor. Plus, what precautions have to be taken by him while expressing the opinion? So only precaution he needs to take is whenever he is preparing the report, clearly state the division of responsibility. How to state the division of responsibility? By mentioning that 1034 branches have been audited by branch auditor. So see how ICI has written the answer. SA 600 says principal auditor is not responsible for the work of other auditor except in suspicious circumstances. He has to base his opinion sometimes relying on the information audited by other auditor. So he should clearly state the division of responsibility. How to state the division? By mentioning the number of division, branches or subsidiaries audited by other auditor. In the given case, he will not be responsible for the work of branch auditor. What should he do? Clearly state in the report that 1034 branches have been audited by branch auditor. Is the full game clear to you? Are yes or no? Yes, sir. Now when the revision is complete, now is the time for the surprise. A surprise where we are going to do a complete one-pager revision of SA 600. Get ready. So yes, everyone, the thing which you were waiting for is here. One-pager revision of SA 600. So within 4 to 5 minutes, the whole revision will be completed. Take 2 sips of water. Get ready. See what it says. Everyone please focus on the board. SA 600 series which talks about using someone's work. Here 0 means O. O means another auditor. So using the work of another auditor. First question that ICI asks is, what are the things you will consider when you are accepting the work as a principal auditor? So the first thing is whatever portion the principal auditor audits, what is the materiality of that portion? Now, sir, when my work is done, I will think about the component, knowledge of the component, and risk of material misstatement in the financial information of component. Based on this risk of material misstatement, you will decide the additional procedures so that you can still have significant participation in such audit. So these are the four things: your own areas materiality, components knowledge and risk of material misstatement, and that risk of material misstatement will decide your additional procedure. Second favorite question of ICI: what are these additional procedure? Okay, what are these additional procedures? So first of all, you have the right to visit, and after visiting, examining the books of accounts of the component. Second thing, which is voluntary, is you can evaluate the competence of other auditor. Sir, when to evaluate the competence? When he is not a chartered accountant. Now, sir, the main procedures to get the evidence that other auditor's work is adequate is, first of all, you should tell him that you are going to use his work. Sir, when? At the planning stage. Coordinate at the planning stage and advise him that you are going to use his work. Now, sir, advise him about three areas. What are the three areas? You are the principal auditor? Yes, sir. So advise him about PA. Sir, what do you mean by PA? P for procedures to identify the intercomponent transaction like related party transaction which require disclosure. Second thing, areas that require special consideration, example fraud, related party, basically areas of significant risk. And last thing is my favorite, accounting. After accounting, what we do? Auditing. After auditing, what we get? Report. So accounting, auditing, and reporting requirement. So these are the three areas you will advise him. Again, let's revise. P for procedures to identify intercomponent transaction which require disclosure. A for areas that require special consideration. And lastly, significant accounting, auditing, and reporting requirement. Now, for all these three things, ask him to do the work on time. Timetable for completion of work. He said, I will do it. Take in writing. Take a written representation for compliance of above. Clear, sir. So this is the first stage where you advise him. Now, sir, at the second stage, how do you check whether he has followed your procedure? So what you can do is, can I take his working paper? No, sir. Always remember, working paper is the property of auditor. He may at his discretion share some extracts or portions to the client. But again, that should not undermine the validity of work. Okay? Client should not question his validity of work. There should not be mistakes in his work. Second thing is, if you are sharing too many things with the client, it can affect your independence. So sharing the work should not undermine the validity of work performed or affect his independence in case of assurance engagement. So how can I check his work? Sir, you can discuss. Orally, you can discuss the audit procedure, or if you want written, you can review the written summary of the procedure through a questionnaire or checklist. Easy, sir. Now, sir, how much work I need to check? Again, that depends on circumstance and competence of the other auditor. Third important question here is, sir, sometimes the other auditor communicates with principal auditor significant findings. So in this case, only two things happen. Principal auditor will discuss the significant findings with other auditor and management. Because these are significant findings, he cannot ignore them. He will have to perform some additional procedures, supplementary procedure. Now, supplementary procedures can be done by principal auditor or they can be performed by other auditor. So either of them will perform these procedure. Now, sir, last 2-3 topics. One more question I say ask is, what are the different roles of principal auditor and other auditor? Talking about principal auditor, the first role is, whatever these things he is communicating, these things should be communicated in written. So written communication by the principal auditor to other auditor. Now, sir, when principal auditor is communicating, he will also coordinate. He will also communicate the significant findings to principal auditor and comply with the timetable as we discussed earlier. Now, sir, when other auditor is telling the significant findings, principal auditor can also advise him about any matter which comes to his attention and that is important for other auditors work. And the last points are our favorite: questionnaire. He can ask other auditor to fill the questionnaire. He will respond to the questionnaire. Now, sir, what about documentation? Important topic asked in May 24 exam. It says you have to document the components which are audited by other auditor. Now, when they are audited by other auditor, you must have performed some procedure, reached some conclusion, document them. Example of procedure: discussions, or reviewing a written summary of procedures. And lastly, if there was a modified opinion in the other auditor report, you need to document how did you deal with such modified opinion. Lastly, let's talk about reporting. Whenever there is a limitation on scope, that means you are not able to get the evidence. Why? Because other auditor work is not adequate. Even you are not able to perform additional procedures, so only two opinions are possible, qualified or disclaimer. If the other auditor's report is modified, does that mean that I also need to modify the report of CFS? No. If the other auditor or let's say subsidiary report is modified, you need to consider the nature and significance of the modification in relation to entity's financial information. So if a misstatement is material to subsidiary, does not mean it will be material to the whole consolidated financials also. If it is material to the whole consolidated financial statement, then only you modify your report of CFS. Make sense? Yes, sir. Last point of this essay, division of responsibility. If in a financial statements, some components, some branches are audited by other auditor, and later on, if some issues are identified in the financial statement of those branches, of those subsidiaries, who will be responsible? Sir, other auditor. So whenever you are reporting, clearly mention the division of responsibility. So this is the last point. Principal auditor is not responsible for the work of other auditor unless there were some suspicious circumstance. So you should clearly state the division of responsibility. For example, you can mention the number of branches, subsidiaries, etc. which were audited by other auditor. Before I wrap up this revision video, my question to all of you, please give me the answer in the comment section. Which para will you use to mention this division of responsibility? Emphasis of matter para or other matter para? Hint is one of these para talks about the matters which are related to audit, auditor's responsibility and audit report. That para will come here. Emphasis of matter or other matter, that is for you to decide. So with this, the revision of SA 600 is complete. All the concepts done, all the questions done, a quick summary revision done. And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this revision. Keep studying like this, keep studying with happiness, then only we progress. If you like the video, do give it a like, do share your feedback in the comments. Your appreciation is my motivation, and yes, keep continuing your studies to soon become a chartered accountant. If you are new to the channel, do subscribe it for more such videos. All the best, keep going.